1 year later, we are honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. As the United States withdrew from Afghanistan, a suicide bomber killed nearly 200 people at the Kabul airport, 13 of them service members in the United States military. Correspondent Daniel Cohen is live for us in Tel Aviv with more on this story. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, Emma. Good morning, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller was the perfect Marine, battle-tested, a leader, decorated for valor. When he spoke out with blistering criticism of top commanding officers and the Biden administration over the deaths of 13 U.S. service members, the generals lashed out. Now, 1 year later, Scheller is still firing shots.
Everyone could see that what had happened was just a terrible plan, and it doesn't take a military mind to understand that.
These are powerful images no American wants to remember. Afghan civilians on a runway in Kabul, some clinging to the side of a U.S. military transport as the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan. A baby boy being handed over a barbed wire fence to U.S. troops. And this image showing the flag-draped coffins of American servicemen and women who died when a suicide bomber blew himself up. Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, who knew one of the deceased, posted a video demanding accountability from senior commanders.
Did any of you throw your rank on the table and say, hey, it's a bad idea to evacuate Bagram Airfield, the strategic air base, before we evacuate everyone?
Scheller believes it didn't have to be this way.
Did anyone do that? And when you didn't think to do that, did anyone raise their hand and say, we completely messed this up?
Scheller was thrown in the brig, court-martialed, ordered to take mental evaluations, and eventually kicked out of the Marines. Scheller lost everything, including his marriage. Today, he's traded in combat fatigues for a different uniform. He stays busy speaking on behalf of political candidates that share his vision of moral courage and accountability.
The reason I continue to make statements is because just the way I was treated after the fact was wrong. No one was addressing the content. They were just focusing on the rules that I broke without addressing anything that I was saying.
Scheller still has a lot to say. In his new book coming out in September, Crisis of Command, Scheller holds our generals' feet to the fire. In our interview, Scheller points his ire at General Kenneth McKenzie, the head of U.S. Central Command, who Scheller says failed to advise President Biden on the appropriate plan for withdrawal, and when it was botched, had the option to resign, but refused.
We create these people-pleasing creatures that are more concerned about self-interest in their career than they are about winning wars or about, morally courageous stands that should be what the values we expect from our senior leaders.
Critics have questioned Scheller for breaking the chain of command. Scheller says he would do it again. And yes, he still has questions of his own.
Do you still believe this evacuation was a success? Why did you think that you could have dropped a bomb on a retaliatory strike where you killed nothing but women and children when there are hundreds of prevention methods to prevent that? The gate on the 26th, you had credible intelligence that there was people coming to the gate. Like, these are basic questions.
Scheller believes we should all be honoring the memory today of those 13 fallen service members, but instead, much of the news this week consists of student loan forgiveness. And last week, the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Now, whether the timing of those moves were coordinated by the Biden administration to distract from the failure in Afghanistan is for you to decide. Scheller's book, in case you'd like to read more, is set to be released September 6th. Emma?
Daniel Cohen live for us in Tel Aviv with that. Daniel, thank you.